All right, another week. So let's go through our watch list and set our alerts for tomorrow. I always start off with QQQ and SPY as always. QQQ here, I'm going to set a high and low for this range that we're kind of forming here. I'm actually going to move this low to previous day low. See if we ever break this. This is a pretty small candle, so I have a pretty good feeling that we'll either break above or break below, maybe start to fill this gap that you kind of see here forming. On the SPY, pretty much the same thing here. Set the highs, I'll set the lows, move this down here. Again, we'll just have to be patient and wait and see whether we might have to fill this gap here. So this one here, maybe we might have to come down, maybe fill this gap. We don't have to, but it's just something to be aware of. I don't really set alerts on SPY and QQQ. I just like to be aware of these levels. Now I'll jump down to some individual equities here, and this is where I'll set my alerts. All right, so looking at Hood, I took a loss on Hood earlier last week. It just didn't play out. I was looking for a breakdown of Hood, but got stopped out. I think that was my 5% loss, I think, so small loss. But Hood, there's a lot of wicks going on. I'm gonna set an alert for the break of this previous day low. See if we get maybe a flush underneath previous day low, maybe down to around the low of this kind of a somewhat of a trend line forming here, from here to here. Possibly. We'll see if we break that trend line, come down and test this 63.52 area. Oracle, we broke previous day low, the lows from Thursday, but then we rejected it, closed somewhat strong, but not strong enough to come up and break the 9 EMA. I'll set my alert for previous day low. Moving on to Broadcom, a nice strong stock. However, formed a nice top wick there. Don't love that for the bullish side of things, but with how SPY and QQQ closed weak on Friday, that's pretty typical. I would kind of expect that we would close there. So again, we'll just have to stay patient and we'll have to see where we open up. Might have to come down, maybe fill this gap down here. If we do, I'll probably stay away just because we would be coming back down into the 9 EMA. But just in case we continue to rip higher here, I'll set my alert at previous day high. Tesla, I still really like this level on Tesla, this 337.24 level. I'm going to keep my alert there. You might maybe an alert on previous day low. I'm not going to set one because I really want to see this big picture play out. I want to break this consolidation and trend lower. So we'll see if we reject off this daily 9 EMA here and then trend lower. Moving on to Netflix. Netflix, really nice close above the high of this consolidation area here. So I'm going to move this to previous day high, set my alert there. This will definitely be a top watch for me, so I'm going to move this to the top. I might move some of these stocks that we just went through around because I didn't really love what I saw from these ones. Not as much as what I'm seeing from Netflix. Let's see, ARM. Again, ARM, I mean, it was nice at one point intraday, but we failed below this level. This seems to be a pretty strong level here. Let's see if the bulls can step in and we get a little more aggressive. Just a little more conviction in this move higher because nothing is really screaming at me saying that this is bullish. Sure, we're above all the EMAs, but all these top wicks here, they are not very convincing. So this is definitely one I'm going to move down. It's strong, but I'm going to move it out of my top watch list here. Intel's been real nice. Very strong. I haven't had any retest for me to enter on, unfortunately, so I've been missing all of this move. They're just intraday. There really hasn't been that clean of setups for me to enter on. If there are clean setups, I've been missing them. Just trying to trade at work. I have some days where I'm very busy, some days where I have time to watch the charts. So it's just kind of hit or miss, and that's just something that I have to accept and just kind of move on from. But this is definitely a top watch. Let's see if we can continue this strong move higher above previous day high. AMD, another one that's trending higher. Don't love the top wick, but I will set my alert for previous day high. I'm gonna move Intel up here, AMD up here. MU, I like this consolidation. Don't love the last daily candle that formed there. I'm gonna leave my alert set for this 423.94 level. See if we can break this consolidation up. We rejected it on Friday, but see if we can break it and then continue higher towards these all-time highs up here at 471.34. Definitely like that one, so I'll move that there. Let's see what we have next. So next, we took a look at ARM. Let's take a look at Google. Google has a gap lower. I like that we have these two wicks off of this level. Let's see. We have 322.08, and then we were just shy 321.83, so just shy of that level on Friday. Since there's two wicks at that level, that's telling me a little more information about that level. There's some big-time sellers there that are kind of keeping it under this level for now. Let's see if we can break higher than that and possibly make a move towards all-time highs here at 349. I definitely like this setup. I'm going to move this up to top watch. And I might move some of these. Let's see here. Hood, I do like Hood. Oracle, I'm going to move this down to weak here. I'll move this down here. I just don't love having a ton of stocks in my top watch just because I want to keep it kind of specific to what I actually really want to see happen. Like Tesla's a good one. I just don't know that we're going to get that weak move from the market to help it out. And AVGO, yeah, I'm going to move it down here. It's been so strong it might need to cool off, so I don't know that I really see this playing out. But I have my alerts. They're all set, ready to go if it does happen tomorrow. So now I can keep going. ARM, we talked about ARM. NVIDIA finally breaking through all these EMAs, breaking out of that consolidation. Let's see if we get a continuation higher. SMCI, enter the gap here. I had this level here to see if we could break lower, but we're trending up. Now that we have a little space between these, this previous day high, change this to green, this previous day high and the daily 50 EMA, I'm definitely interested in trading this up to this EMA. I would, if I were to trade it, if I got the perfect setup, break, retest the previous day high, I would enter on the retest, and then I would be targeting close to the EMA, but a lot of games get played when we get close to these daily EMAs, so I would definitely be cautious and maybe cut this maybe like $1 lower than this 27.79. I would be very cautious on playing this through the EMA. You gotta be very careful, but we'll see if we can get a push higher through the gap and possibly fill the gap. Apple breaking above these EMAs, forming some top wicks that I don't love. I'll set my alert here. Let's see if we can break this range. This high here is 262.19. And then this one here is 262.16. So I'll keep this at the 19 cents just because it's a little higher, but I do like that both these wicks are kind of at the same area here. So let's see if we can break above that area. That would be a pretty nice play, possibly higher up to test out these highs again. That would be pretty nice. You might get a little sketchy once you get to these highs here. There might be some games being played at this 266.53. So I'll actually keep that line there and see if we can push towards it. Amazon has been great. Again, not really many entries on Amazon for me to get through, to get interested in and enter on. Also, going through all these EMAs, not really A+ to me. I don't really like entering trades when we have to travel through all the daily EMAs. So I've stayed away here, but now that we're clear, now I'll look for a break above previous day high. Again, that top wick, don't love it, but again, with the market closing weak on Friday, you can kind of expect that. So we'll see. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Tesla, we looked at. Oracle, let's take a look at SoFi. SoFi, I definitely like if we get a pullback to fill those gaps on SPY and QQQ, this one could play out. I'm not going to move this line here up to previous day low just because it's so close to the daily 9 EMA. We keep closing above it. I want to see a true flush down lower than the 9 EMA and see if we can break and trend lower down to these lows here. All right, Palantir, huge wick on the daily. This could be a sign that we are reversing. Some big time buyers stepped in. Look how big that wick is. This level here seems to be pretty strong down here. There's some big time buyers, so we could trend at least back up to the daily 9 EMA. This is one I probably will stay away from. I don't really love this setup here. I guess I'll still set an alert just in case, something happens, news happens, we wake up tomorrow and something's going on with Palantir, and then all of a sudden we're weak again and we break below that previous day low. I'll still set my alert. I would still want to be ready, even though it might not look the best, but definitely not a top watch for me, so I'll leave it right there in the weak section of my watch list. Coin, some bottom wicks. Not really sure if I see this going any lower. However, it is curling pretty nice. So we came down and then we found this daily 9 EMA. We did gap up, but we closed weak, so we might see some continuation, but you see this kind of curl off of this daily 20 EMA, the daily 9 EMA. So we might curl lower. However, these bottom wicks, there's a big buyer down here that is keeping this price up for coin. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Microsoft, I really like Microsoft. I love how it closed here. I'm gonna set an alert under previous day low. Definitely looking for a trend lower. These wicks here make me a little nervous, especially this one here. So there might be some big buyers, especially sitting around this psych level of 370. Kind of a sketchy area. Let's see if we break that level and then possibly get a push down towards these lows here. So 356.28 and we got 356.51. So around this area here, looking for a play from this 370 area down to this 356. Let's see if we get it. A weak market will definitely help this one out. I'm gonna move this up to my top watch here. I really like how weak that is. That's a nice full body on the bottom side. Okay, moving on to MSTR. Closing above the daily 9 EMA. Let's see if we bounce off of this daily 20 EMA. Would love a push lower. Obviously, this daily 9 EMA seems like it's holding it up pretty nicely. We're just in between these two EMAs. Definitely not a top watch for me. I'll probably keep my alert there. The only thing that makes me nervous, if I move this alert to previous day low, we could break the low, but then we could come right back up above this daily 9 EMA. I just don't love trading when we're so close to the daily 9 EMA. So I'm going to leave it down here, mainly so I'm not tempted to get in as soon as that previous day low breaks. So I'll leave it right there. It's definitely staying in the weak section of my watch list, and there's probably no way I'm going to trade that tomorrow. Kind of a similar situation with Meta. We are strong. We're trending up. I'll put a line there to kind of know that I want to break previous day high, but the daily 200 being there, I guess there's $10 between. So all right, I'll set an alert there. Again, I just don't love, there's enough room there to trade up towards the daily 200, so I can definitely catch part of the move. But this is a trade where if I enter, I will probably cut it pretty quick, just because of this kind of that daunting daily 200 EMA sitting right above there. But all right, there's my watch list. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Help me out trying to grow my following. Follow me on X at SmokeyBlue018, and I'll see you in the next video. Good luck this week. See ya.